Hello, and welcome to a stream of 2024. Hey everybody. Okay. So I don't know how many of you guys listen to My Brother and Me, an advice podcast for a modern era. They do this thing every year where they name one of the years after a certain thing, and they've got a bunch of funny names. There's like one where it's like what was it, 2022 or 20 rendezvous, and then 2023 was like, you know, like 20 big dog run or something like that. They do this funny naming thing. And so they said this year they're going to curse everyone by calling 2024 20 Fungalore, which is, I guess, a mushroom wizard. And the tagline for the year is "He hears your wish." And sweet mother of God, if Fungalore is real, my wish is for us to like go back and give us an extra week or two, because I am not equipped properly for 2024. And also, he's living rent-free in my brain, and we don't know anything about him other than his preferred pronoun is evidently he, and also that he hears your wish, which implies a degree of supernaturalness. So that's where I am as a person. And also, hey everybody, I don't know what video game to play. But really quickly, I do want to say, as always, thank you guys all so much for being here. Ender Friend, hello, Battle Benoy, Clary, yeah, not gonna lie, I forgot that it's only been 2 days into January. It's going really well. I'm doing great. Sabata, Pixie, hey. Yeah, I actually genuinely don't know what to play. I'm kind of in a roadblock. Today's stream might be a little bit shorter than usual, just because there's a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak, and things that I need to organize. Sorry, I just realized you can see my... Well, I'm not going to tell you what that is. Anyways, it's great. Everything's going well, and I'm very organized, as I always am, so, you know, enjoy that. Pixie, thank you so much for gifting out that tier 1 sub to Summer. Anini one, Happy New Year! Yeah, in February, it's gonna be Year of the Dragon. So if you're born in the Year of the Dragon, beware. Chinese mythology around luck oftentimes has it that if you have a dream that something good happens, you've used up all of your luck in the dream time, and so therefore you're going to have a terrible time being awake. That same philosophy applies to the zodiac year. If you were born in the Year of the Dragon, it's going to be a bad time for you, so be careful out there. Because, you know, what says great folklore like self-flagellation? Hey Cass, play Fire Emblem, but name everyone Jimothy. I'm gonna break your heart right now, Cass, because I know this is a very serious suggestion. Most Fire Emblems don't allow you to name other characters. I know. It's a lot to take in, but most Fire Emblems, if you're lucky, will let you name the main character and nobody else. So, hey, Atlin, it's good to see you. Good to see you, Battle Benoy. Sligator, hey. It's good to see you, my friend. If this is your way of putting your hat in the ring for Final Fantasy XIV, I'm generally also a fan of that. But yeah. Self-defenestrate. Good. But yeah, okay. Oh, change the color to purple. Sure, I can do that. And then... okay. I have not done the New Year's quest in Final Fantasy XIV. That has not happened yet, so... we can. Yeah, sorry if people were out there being like, 2024 is gonna be my year because it was Year of the Dragon. If you follow Chinese zodiac stuff, which I don't. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of the idea that thousands of millennia ago, that's right, thousands of millennia, 12 animals got together in a line and then did a race. When we went to the Lantern Festival with my mom, she was like, oh, you know, like we were looking at like certain displays and stuff like that, and either I or my sister asked my mom why the phoenix isn't in the Chinese zodiac. Then she's like, oh, that's because there are no mythological creatures in the Chinese zodiac. And then I like paused. Which, for those of you who like don't know anything about Chinese mythology, there's the whole stuff about the Yangtze River actually being a dragon, and stuff like that, right? So like obviously different philosophies apply differently. So, but I did just think that was a very funny thing to matter-of-factly just sort of whip out that like, nope, there are no mythological creatures in the Chinese zodiac. Every single one of them is real, and if you're not in the Chinese zodiac, you're not real, like the cat, which has a fun story about how apparently the cat was taking a nap when the race was happening, and so the cat asked the dog that was being selected for the zodiac to be like, hey, wake me up when the time comes, and the dog forgets about it because the dog in Chinese zodiac has ADHD, and the dog runs off, and so that's why the cat's not in the zodiac. So enjoy that out there. Banshee Games, wait, where can I learn about my zodiac? I do not... Listen, here's the thing. I, unfortunately, not a real astrology fan. So if you're out there looking for a reliable source, it isn't me. I can't... If you tell me what your zodiac animal is, though, I can predict with 0.09% accuracy exactly what's going to happen to you in the year of 2024. So, get ready for that. What says great folklore like self-flagellation? Listen, I stand by that statement in Iniwan. It's a part of the reason why I'm so into paladins. So, yeah. I guess it's time for Monster Hunter World? No, Monster Hunter World is going to be this upcoming Thursday. We are going to be doing Monster Hunter World, but it's going to be sort of taking over the Final Fantasy XIV slot. And depending on how certain things go, it might branch out into other days and stuff like that. I did mean to put up a poll to see when most people would be available for Monster Hunter World, because it seems like a lot of people are enjoying that game right now, so yeah. You think your Year of the Dragon, Banshee Games? Oh no. Oh, friend. Yeah, sorry. So like, a lot of Chinese folklore and mythology and stuff is based off of sort of the ebb and flow of things. So, you know, the idea of luck being a static thing is not, it's just not the way that it exists in folklore. So the idea is that if you have good luck, right, that's your luck is flowing. And if your luck is flowing, you need to be careful, because that means in the future your luck is going to start to ebb. It's going to start to go away. So yeah, so and like, okay, here's the other thing about this, because I'm not an astrology person, right? As I get farther and farther away from the microphone, like none of it is real, right? Like I think we can all accept that. I think we can all accept, or rather, hold on, sorry. If there are any small children in the room who are really stoked about growing up to be astrologers, go ahead and take them out of the room. Also, kids, Santa Claus isn't real, so heads up. Just wanted to let you know how it is, but, you know, okay. If the stars dictated your fates like that, I don't know, bud. Get better stars? Like, I don't, like, why, what is the significance of them being assigned, all of that jazz? Anyways, isn't exactly my shit that I love, because I love the bullshit idea that, like, you throw a bunch of sticks down, and then the sticks, like, land, and they, like, tell you something about yourself in the future. Yeah, of course I love that shit, because, like, I love the idea that the supernatural could be real, the idea that mankind can take destiny from the random maelstrom of chaos and numbers. Yeah, I love that idea. Is it real? So a lot of people who do, like, prescribe to astrology still to this day, a lot of it does come down to, it's just like general good life advice, right? So, like, when your year comes up, right, like, it's just sort of flipped from a lot of other people's perspective. When it's your year to be careful. So you get how it goes. You just learned what self-defense is straight. Yeah, the fact that the English language is sometimes such a disaster, and also sometimes will, you know, have a specific word for throwing someone out a window is great. Also, the fact that, this is something that I bring up on a consistent basis, the fact that harlot is a gender-neutral term, but strumpet is not. And if you don't know what those terms are, go ask your parents, kids. Excavation of Hobbs Barrow. I do not have that still, Pixie, but I do remember you talking to us about it before and looking it up, so it's on the table. Fruits basket is the extent that you know. You know what? You could probably tell me more. Here's the things that I know about the Chinese zodiacs. Also, happy New Year, Harley. Happy New Year, chat, all of you guys. Sorry, but also, really fast. All that I know is that apparently the ox is the fastest and most enduring creature, and the reason why the rat is the first creature in the Chinese zodiac is because the rat sat on the ox's head when the ox was running through, and as the ox was, like, getting to the end of the race, the, like, rat jumps off of the ox's head and is the first one. And so that's the reason why rats are supposed to be cunning and clever and all of that jazz. Like, it's all stories to entertain kids, right? But yeah, nope. That is actually correct, Sabata. I have never seen a Skaven. Skaven don't exist. Misfortune Club with the rest of the FC. Oh, right. Because of the New Year's event in 14. I have been playing so much 14, and I'm aware that people are aware of that because people keep telling me that we're playing a lot of it, but hey, you know, there's going to be some new games coming in, and of those new games, there were a bunch in contention for today, right? Like, I want to tackle Dragon's Dogma before Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out. We have to finish Baldur's Gate 3. I refuse to reiterate the stakes on that one, but we have to finish it. But like, and then of course, you know, there's some other odds and ends. I want to do a little bit more Rogue Trader and a little bit more Generation Zero because we're going to be giving away codes for those later this week. This Thursday, instead of our regular segment of the MMO, that's probably when I'm going to be trying to give away game codes and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know what to do today. And you know what? If people are vibing with Final Fantasy 14, we can do Final Fantasy 14. We'll probably do a poll at the end to let democracy win. But yeah. I can't believe all this time we got dragons confused with cats. I don't know that that's the takeaway, but you know what? Hey. Do you install Monster Hunter World Battle Benoit? Depends. Do you like the idea of big stompy robots? And if yes, big stompy robots, that's not it. Big stompy monsters. And if yes, go for it. My primary fascination with the idea of doing Monster Hunter World, I'm not going to lie, is just like morbid curiosity because it's such a long-running franchise. So, you know, like they do have really gorgeous weapon sets and stuff like that. And of course, you know me, I'm a sucker for anything that lets me do a knight in shining armor. Although I'm probably not going to go sword and board, we'll have to see. Monster Hunter World does have gun lance, which if you staple a gun onto a sword, you know, that's kind of cool or whatever. If you staple a gun onto a lance, that's just historically accurate. So of course I'm gonna be, my greatest interest is playing around with that, but we'll see. Yeah. You're gonna keep hanging in there? Just means you gotta be careful, doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You're a tiger, also hi. Hey JR, it's good to see you. Okay, here's my prediction for Tiger in the Dragon Year of the Zodiac. Are you ready? You will be picked up by someone significantly larger than you. They will then put you down. You will come across a rock on the ground. You will step over the rock. The rock will not impede your life in any meaningful way. And there will be a day in the year 2024 for tigers. Tigers, listen up. There will be a day in the year 2024 for tigers where you are eating slightly too fast and you need to be careful. Listen. Just tigers, 0.09% accuracy all of the time. Get ready for yourselves. Cass is a rat on a boat. Yeah, again, rat is supposed to be really clever, right? So, Cass, in the year 2024, you're going to finally learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube. This is not for all rats, this is just for Cass. You're gonna learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. You are going to consume cheese at some point in time, and you will never fall asleep directly under sunlight. So, you know, enjoy your 2024. Oh yeah, sorry. Pixie said, redeemed channel points. It's just a little like hot water kettle personalized. I was just distracted because my entire brain is nothing. And so I was like, why is it visible in the background? And that's just because I didn't do all of the appropriate checks. The holidays were a little wacky wild, and so there's like all sorts of stuff that I haven't fully hammered down for this coming time. So yeah. Jokes on me, jokes on me, you're consuming cheese right now. Cass, I'm sure if you just sort of re-examine it, you'll notice that it is in fact not cheese, but just thinly sliced tofu. 100% accuracy, 0.09% of the time. Astrologians, do I mean astrologers? No, I do mean astrologians because it's a bad reference to the class in Final Fantasy XIV, so you know. I am starphobic. I hate the stars. Why don't they just teach us how to do fusion reaction? Shake my head. Prometheus came down and gave us fire. Why doesn't... I'm trying to figure out the name of a god of stars, and I'm not having a great time. Why doesn't Orion come down and give us the secret to nuclear fusion? Stingy gods. If society can change me, why can't sticks change me? Legally, they can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's true. Oh, I didn't know that, Pixie. Okay. putting off Baldur's Gate 3 because I secretly want to be a cowboy on stream. Could not express less of my interest. Yes! Hype for FanFest. That's January 6th. That's one of the things that we gotta do, and in fact it is important enough that I am going to write it on my super important little notebook that I keep next to my desk now because I'm trying to be more organized this year. Be organized for FanFest. Because God knows I need it. Mech Warrior 5 Mercenaries. I have not tried any of the Mech Warrior games, but I was looking at some of my big stompy robot games. I feel like I would enjoy Mech Warrior, right? I've got the Battletech Hairbrain Scheme CRPG, and I had a fine time with that, but yeah. Yeah. Anything with a sodding shield? No. Gunlance. Gunlance this time, for realsies, I promise. We're definitely not going to switch back to being sword and board somewhere halfway through. And it is good to see you, Harley. Rabbit. I feel like Rabbit, Year of the Dragon, terrible time. Dragons fly overhead, can see you. Fortunately, Chinese dragons, not well renowned for hunting rabbits. So, be careful. Don't go anywhere where there's an exposed sky. But if you do, try being in Tavor. Do 14 event quest and give us FanFest predictions. What is there even to predict this FanFest? We're definitely streaming FanFest. It's going to happen. But I predict Yoshi P will be wearing a shirt and some pants and some shoes. And if I'm wrong, I will give Yoshi P a fun hat. I don't know what, like, I am excited, especially because there has been the whole content drought. But the thing is, okay, so here, some people might notice my lack of incredible enthusiasm about Final Fantasy XIV. That's not because I'm less interested in Ishgard. I'm as interested in Ishgard now as I was previously. But we just finished, the FC did this little hush hush, and now that it's gone off and it's been an incredible success, I wanna talk about it a little bit. We did this like invite only Ishgardian RP event. And the idea was that we wanted people who were Ishgardian role players to show up. And I'd like to think that it was successful. I'd like to think that everybody who was there had a good time. I do want to apologize. We had somebody there specifically for the intent of like doing some like gambling macros and stuff. And nobody ended up gambling. But ultimately that was just there to like be like filler and like fluff, right? So the event was a success and it was a lot of fun. But like once I finished it, my brain just went, and now I can die inside of Final Fantasy XIV, because I was like, this was good and I had a great time, but what more is there to do now? I've gotten to experience my Ishgardian roleplay BS, and until May comes out with the Final Fantasy XIV TTRPG, I mean, is there even any more Final Fantasy XIV to play? So, that's where I am right now as a human being. You're not obligated to give me crap this stream. Even when you do, Clary, the crap you give me is always so much sweeter smelling than Harley's. You already got misfortune in the in-game fortune? No, JR! Horses suck, and the fact that you were born in the year of the horse was the year trying to tell you your life is going to be a tragedy? How dare you? Horses, citation needed, I've never been around a horse, freaking rock. So how dare you, actually. Sheep, I don't know why a lot of translators always refer to sheep as ram, but you know, hey, Year of the Dragon? Terrible for sheep. Not because of the connotation of dragons eating sheep, as is oftentimes the case in Western literature and folklore. It's just because dragons are bringers of water a lot of the times in Chinese mythology. So of course, you know, if you are a sheep, all of your wool is going to get wet and it's going to be very heavy, and then you are going to, of course, just want to take a nap, because that's what I want to do when I'm covered in heavy wet wool in the rain, is go to sleep, and then you'll just sleep through all of the Year of the Dragon. Are these predictions getting a little unhinged? No. They're all exactly as accurate as they were at the start, so enjoy that. Do you think anyone has ever tried to return a New Year as a gift? Well, you know. Haven't found eagles big enough for Star God yet. Fair, very fair. The Final Fantasy 14 Fortune in the Discord, JR. Thank you. Nat and Samantha Bayard in the vid you linked me is a voice actor in Hobbs Barrow. I've instantly forgotten the name again because it's not directly in front of me. That's super cool though, Pixie. Yeah. For those who don't know, Pixie's got their finger on the pulse on a lot of TTRPG stuff, so yeah. Oh, Gunlance is a class with a shield? Wait, I just assumed they had a spear that had like a gun stapled onto the end. I didn't realize it was a class with a shield. All right, fair enough. I guess the paladin vibe stays. Yes, but also lance with shield, very different than sword with shield. Yes, Pixie, it is my suggestion for the year 2024 that you either stay indoors or get into an extreme kink. There are no other options. The other extreme kinks that will be on the table, however, are macro, micro. Yoshi P will announce that we were Emmett Selk the whole time. The real Emmett Selk is, of course, inside your heart. You get it. You need more time between things if you want people to gamble. Yeah, I think the event was a success, right? As much as organizing, you know, relatively introverted nerds together could be a success. I think everybody had a great time. I need to get back to Ezred as one of the characters. He wanted people's contact information, and I've just been so like, where am I? What's going on recently? That I haven't been able to get back to him. But yeah, we need to vibe out with him for a little bit. But yeah, if we opened as a regular venue, I do think the Spear and Crown would be like a thing that we offer on a semi-regular basis. But I don't know that we necessarily want to do a venue. We'll have to feel it out. We'll have to vibe. We are caught up on all of our MSQ casts, and my inventory is as clean as it's going to be, so you get it. Horses can range from awesome to evil depending on personality and temperament. I'll admit, my main reasons for liking horses is because in King Arthur tales, right, you could tell the difference between a good knight and a bad knight based off of how well they took care of their horses, which we now know is just complete, utter poppycock because, you know, most people who owned horses also had a stable, and most people who had a stable in medieval times probably had some sort of servant dedicated to the taking care of that horse, right? Very, very rare was it that if you were a king or a knight, you were taking care of your own shit all the time. You had people for that. Summary, Year of the Dragon, bad for everyone. Got it. Actually, because I have 2 brain cells and a short attention span, I googled, is Year of the Dragon good for boar? Pig. And they said yes, so I'm gonna have a great year, and I choose to believe that, and I'm definitely not filled with pessimism or doubt, as I am every year. Final Fantasy 14, give us a nice horse mount for Year of the Horse, please. Just a normal horse. Not a magical horse, not a horse of legend, not a horse... Like there is one normal horse, well, okay, there's like 4 normal horses, but like don't give me an affiliated horse, right? Don't give me a Monster Energy drink sponsored horse. Just give me a normal horse. That's all I'm asking for. Or don't lock it behind PvP. You get what I mean. Or if you do lock it behind PvP, like the Maelstrom Serpent and Immortal Flames horses, give me one for Ishgard. You get it. Most unhinged prediction: Demise versus Cassidar the Spymaster in the parking lot of your local Denny's and or Waffle House. All right, everybody, get ready for the live show that Cass and I are going to do, where we physically punch each other in the Waffle House closest to your house. It's gonna be coming up real soon. If you blink, you're gonna miss it. So get ready. But that's my live show. It's on the books now. It's definitely going to happen and is real. Wool actually resists water due to lanolin. I don't know what lanolin is, but I did know that by killing the Caracoles in Final Fantasy XIV, they did drop that item. I don't know what it is. I presume it's fat of some flavor, but yeah. Mules greater than horses. Aren't mules the offspring of horses and donkeys? I don't actually know. I genuinely have no idea, but yeah. Is 2024 good for horses? Yes. Because dragons and horses, historically, besties. And you can't confirm or deny that claim, just as I can't, because it's all made up. So the dragons will absorb all of the bad luck for you. Be sure to push, if you're like going to an archery range, be sure to walk behind your dragon friend. You get it. Monster Energy drink horse would hit pretty hard. Red Bull sponsored horse. Flex on Bethesda, some just floating horse armor. Okay, so that is one of the games that I downloaded when I was thinking, like, do we want to do something for variety today? Kishnok was playing Skyrim on New Year's with Wife Knock, and I watched them and I was like, man, now I want to play Skyrim. There's a non-zero part of me that's even looking at Elder Scrolls Online. Not because I want to play Elder Scrolls Online, but because I hear some of the lore wilds out in it, so. Monster Energy drink horse beats out stupid car and dumb motorcycle. I don't know that I'm allowed to agree with you on that stance, but yeah. Wool fat, interesting, sure. Mules, donkey, horse hybrid, hell yeah. Good year for Mesphia and all horses. Horses get employed by knights to go after dragons. Not in Eastern mythology. Dragons are bringers of good fortune. And also sometimes they chase after like this magical pearl that lion dogs have. Why does that happen? I don't know. During Chinese New Year parades, there's always that one person who is directing the dragon with the like pearl and the symbols. And I do not know the historical or the mythological significance behind it, other than it's a magical pearl and it does magic if you have one. So here is your 100% accurate Chinese folklore. But yeah. All right. Okay. There's about to be an ad break, and I have used all of my snoozes on the ad break earlier. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to go on a very quick break. When we return, I'm actually going to take suggestions for games. The list of games that I have is fairly small, so, you know, be sure to suggest a game that is either quick to download or is already on my list. But yeah. So y'all think about it, y'all ruminate. And when I see you guys in the next 3 to 5 minutes, it'll be to figure out what game we're gonna do. All right, see you all real soon. Okay, and we're back. Thank you guys so much for your patience, except for Top Hat and Cass, who of course did riot to 699 times, which, you know, it's still nice for exactly one more riot, and then unfortunately we will not be nice until we hit the 6,000s. So there was a period of time in which we actually had more followers than we had riots. It was a very short period of time, but yeah. I can't believe you've done this, Mesphia. Okay, so games that are on the table, because I did see Enderfriend said Slay the Princess, which looks like it got a second from Mesphia. Fallout New Vegas is like extremely small, I think. Let me triple check. I could probably download it on stream. Like while I'm streaming. Fallout New Vegas is 9 gigabytes. So it's actually 1 gigabyte larger than Skyrim, interestingly enough. But yeah. Oh, finish Rusty Lake Hotel. Sure, that's 3. That's one I've already got. Or no, did I uninstall it already? I did uninstall Rusty Lake Hotel. It's 50 megabits. It would take me no time at all to re-download it. Oh, BioShock. Legally, you can request BioShock, although I do want to let you know, you especially, Sabata, we're going to be doing Wayland-Yutani Wednesdays, which is, of course, a reference to the fact that we are going to be playing Alien Isolation. So, you know, me, famously, very good at horror games. A friend, yeah, well, we are Enderfriend. A friend over the winter vacation time gifted me the game. And so, not this Wednesday, not tomorrow, but Wayland-Yutani Wednesdays are coming, which is going to suck. But yeah. You used to watch speedruns of it. Oh boy. Yeah, friend in quotation marks. You know, a good friend gifted me Alien Isolation, and then informed me the day that they would be most able to see it is on Wednesdays, so Wayland-Yutani Wednesdays. I do also owe a BioShock stream, but BioShock was sort of picked specifically because it was not the most horrifying game. Like, I still have nightmares. Like, God, I want you to imagine. I don't even remember. 2004, I want to say 2005. There's the plane crash scene. There's the like giant tower in the middle of the ocean. It's the BioShock demo because video games used to still have big AAA titles used to still do demos. And then you come down into the lobby in BioShock and there's a splicer beating a man over the head with a pipe wrench. And to this day, the BioShock demo lives rent-free in my brain. It is so good. I've still never played BioShock. I don't actually know, like, I've watched a lot of, like, video game reviews, but weirdly enough, I never actually watched an entire playthrough. I watched, like, all of the endings for BioShock if you chose to save or, like, kill all the little sisters, so yeah. Less jump scare horror and more environmental horror, yeah. So anyways, I do not have BioShock right now because I keep missing it every time it's on sale, in part because I don't want to get it. How much is BioShock? Why is it not telling me a price? Oh, it's $5. Okay. I can legally do BioShock if that is your heart's desire. White Album, best visual novel you ever played and currently on sale on Steam. Okay, Kuro, I'm willing to give it a look. I gotta be real, Kuro. This feels like this would be a, even though we are simulcasting to YouTube, this feels like this would be a for YouTube kind of playthrough. I gotta be real with you. Fallout New Vegas is greater than Skyrim. You are correct, but there is a cool magic sun sword in Skyrim, and there are no cool magic sun swords in Fallout New Vegas, so you know. The Steam sale is still happening right now. Okay. Save the Princess or Rain World. I think Save the Princess can definitely go because it's gotten multiple requests, so yeah. Oh yeah, slay the Princess. But it is good to see you, Kuro. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Slay the Princess has multiple votes. Does anybody else want to see? You know what? I'll just take all of the suggestions because they're pretty easy peasy. And by all of the suggestions, I mean all of the suggestions except for BioShock and White Album, because while BioShock is good and White Album looks good, I'm gonna put a temporary kibosh on it for right now. We'll consider coming back to it later, but yeah. Poll. And this will be so fast. So, you know, what game? Slay the Princess. Fallout New Vegas. And this is not a guarantee that we finish it, right? But Rusty Lake Hotel. Because again, today's stream is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, so yeah. The BioShock stall continues, 2 years in the making. I tell you what, Sabata. For you, year 4 is going to be your year. Take this to the bank. January 2nd, 2020... Wait, no, this is 2024. 2025 is going to be your year. January 2nd, 2025. Because at that point we'll have figured out whether how viable streaming full-time really is, because this is the year that I'm buckling down, right? January 2nd, 2025. For real this time. BioShock playthrough. It starts on January 2nd. Who knows if you'll even make it there? I'm just like the life insurance company. I'm gambling that you won't. Got to get through the year of the dragon. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is anyone's game, but it looks like Slay the Princess, Fallout New Vegas, Rusty Lake Hotel in that order. But yeah. Another recommendation, Alcana for Rhythms Across the Blue, and again on sale on Steam. I don't know how much I'm willing to do visual novels on stream. Just in part because I don't know how compelling they explicitly are. But I could always be persuaded. There was one visual novel that I played a lifetime ago, and I played it because they lured me in with the false promise of big stompy robots. But yeah. You strike me as someone who would enjoy the Federation and Sons and House Davian. You know I love House Davian in MechQuest and all the MechQuest? No, that's a Artix Entertainment property. In Mechabellum, no, not that either. Big mechs, and we cannot lie. Mech Warrior, BattleTech. So yeah. Every visual novel on Steam are censored. It's not the censorship or like censorship, lack of censorship that gets me, Kuro. It's the visual novel's primary medium of delivering information is either dialogue or monologue, right? And so I don't know how compelling that is on stream. To be fair, I'm sure there are a bunch of content creators who can do it just fine. I don't know if I'm your boy on that one, but again, I'm willing to entertain the thought for sure. Two of them have a category on Twitch. Ooh, okay, all right. Well, before we can do that, however, Slay the Princess is today's victor. So, let me very quickly... this is a game I did not uninstall because it was so wild. Have I ever played Undertale? I have not played Undertale, but because Undertale saturated the market, and I have Undertale, I know the ending, right? At least some of it. And I know about the whole genocide, pacifist, all of those runs. And because of it, I do feel like sort of me doing an Undertale playthrough does sort of lose some of its value. But yeah, I've never played Undertale. If that's something that people are into at some point in time in the future, super game. All right, we're doing Slay the Princess, because y'all are sadists. Slay the Princess is kind of visual novel-esque, Kuro. So you'll have to let us know how you feel about that one. You won't do genocide route first, then pacifist, because you don't know what that will change. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess if people have a specific thing, like specific things they want me to try, right? Because again, I'll be experiencing the story for the first time, so yeah. What's crackin'? Well, people just decided that we're doing Slay the Princess, so that's what we're going to be playing. I don't know how to change the YouTube live stream, so it'll just be what it is. Slay the Princess is a visual novel. It was made on a visual novel engine. Really? I did not know that. Okay, fair enough. It is a visual novel. Slay the Princess while you get ready for dumplings. Enjoy! Oh, Cass, you're gonna hate Slay the Princess. It is very much not French Revolution Simulator. It is very cerebral. It's very philosophical. I love it. You know how we've talked before about the like starting menu and the things that you can sort of divine from it, and I can't remember if it was you or Kishnok who was like, "This is a waste of time." Slay the Princess is like, Slay the Princess will like give you crumbs through like UI interface, through like contextual prompts. It's so good. Rempe. Okay, is that the one that oh my god, what is it called? Oh, not Shining Star Nova. There is a mech based visual novel that I played, surprising no one, about you being Captain Kato Shields and Sunrider. Is Sunrider based in Rempe? Yeah. You just want games to go back to turning the cursor into a gauntlet again? Cass, you're gonna love Slay the Princess then. I've got great news for you. There is a content warning. If you do need the full list, blacktabbygames.com, they're providing one. Also, of course, we always recommend doesthedogdie.com. Flickering image, parallax effect, health issues, disable them in the game's preferences. We're not going to, but, you know, obviously everybody take care of yourselves. You get it. All right. I have not fixed the sound mixing since last time, so we'll have to see how it is. Oh, and then also, yeah, the default mouse cursor is a little interesting, and it informs us as the reader of something. What it is, I'll never tell. Whatever horrors you may find in these dark spaces, have heart and see them through. There are no premature endings. There are no wrong decisions. There are only fresh perspectives and new beginnings. This is a love story. It was so good. Oh man, if you guys did not see our first Slay the Princess playthrough, I don't think I was simulcasting to YouTube, so I don't know that the VOD is still up. But Slay the Princess is so fucking cerebral. I love it so much. God, did we play it back in October? We must have. Don't look at this picture. Don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, sure. We've literally got one save file.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
God. I'm back in it all over again, people. Not having to read out the narration because it's voice acted. Just like the art style. Oh God. Take me home, country road.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
And here's the thing that's crazy about this. We discovered last time, again, that the narrator is slightly unreliable. But he's not... The narrator is not technically wrong. God, there's so much meta stuff that's going on in here in a way that I actually really enjoy. Is besides the point. Let's keep rocking and rolling. We've done some of these options before. I feel like we've already done the let's go stab the princess one, but it's been a while, so you know. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending? Killing the princess does seem kind of bad. Maybe the only reason she wants to end the world is because she's locked up. We've explored all of these before, but let's do it again.
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Oh, God. And so last time that we played this back for Halloween, as Enderfriend pointed out, we found out that there isn't anything else besides the setting that we interface with, and it's very good. But sorry, anyways, okay. Sure. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me what to do.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
So I can't remember. Was our first ending the lover ending? And then our second ending was real powerful. Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
Oh, that's right. In our very first ending, we were cautious. Oh my God! And that was such a brilliant part about it. Okay, sorry. The game responds to our inputs in a very sort of solipsistic. What's the school of philosophy that comes after solipsism? I think, therefore I am. Descartes' thing. The game, when we say something about the princess, or when we act a certain way about the princess, the way we do so becomes true, or at least it did up until a certain point. So, for example, in the very first ending that we got, we were like cautious about the princess and whether or not the princess was actually our enemy. And so the princess likewise was cautious about us and like a wild animal sort of testing the area. And then in the second ending we got, the second ending was the unraveling of everything, so that one doesn't super count. Or was the first ending the unraveling of everything? Anyways, at some point in time we got one where we were like, well, if she's a princess, we should marry her. And in the ending that we got was the princess sort of becoming deconstructed and unraveling, and we were like, well, what do you want to do? And the princess was like, I don't know, I want to do whatever you want to do. And we were like, okay, but you have to have some motivation or interests, right? And she was like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And then we experienced the great unraveling of all things. And then we did one where it was like, we were like, gung-ho, let's go murder her. And so she becomes this like deplorable, truly monstrous villain, right? And like, the game is so intelligent. Anyways, now that I'm playing it, 4 months after it might have been a hot button topic, buckle in, cowpokes. Sorry, also, narrator, you're doing a great job. Keep rocking and rolling. Well, you're doing a great job of narrating.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
So we've been in front of a mirror a couple of times, a mirror that the narrator can't see. There's an implication that we are a dragon. If you can tell by the cursor does appear to be some sort of scaled hand with a long claw at the end of the finger. But once we take the blade...
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
The cursor changes, right, to sort of reflect the sword that we have, so... Or the dagger, or whatever. It kind of looks like an Italian...
The door to the basement creaks open,
Cinquedea,
revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp. a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
No! Don't give me powerful, capable princess again.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
So the narrator says that every time, regardless of which flavor of princess you have. Hey, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
What? No way. Why would you even think that? Yeah, it wasn't a joke. I haven't decided yet. I'm just here to talk, steal your nerves, and step forward. Yeah, it wasn't a joke?
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
I mean, I'm not in love with this strategy this option that you've suggested.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Y'all know me. I'm always a sucker for the voice of the hero, right? Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
This princess activates something inside of me, Mesphia, and what that thing is it my fight or flight response? Is it, sheer abject terror in the face of existentialism?
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
There's people out there who think that you're going to end the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Why?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Also, there isn't another world out there to remember.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
We already did the romance line, though, right? The, like, happily ever after, you saved the princess. So I don't think it's that.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
Oh, hero.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust.
Her looking at her fingernails in this disaffected, like, jaded way is a little grating, right? Especially when you take into context the scenario that we're like, hey, we were sent down here to murder you. Like, it's a little frustrating. But again, as we've sort of experienced at the first real ending that we got to, not the great unraveling of all things, it's about experiencing things, I guess. So, you know, I'll try and keep an open mind. I love being casually disrespected.
So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
I also forgot, we did actually get 3 endings aside from the great unraveling of all things. We did also get an ending where we just listened to the narrator, right? Where we just, like, sprinted down, killed her, and then won. And then the narrator was like, you feel great. And then the voice of the hero was like, but we don't feel great. This sucks and is boring and there's nothing going on. So we did get an ending where we completely listened to the narrator. Most of these don't have a ton of substance behind them. But let's just see. What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
She doesn't have one.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Because the narrator never wrote one. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting.
We've already gone down
Right?
a route where we, like, chopped off her hand.
She is. I'm sure of it.
A relationship? Are you coming on to me? Hey, folks out there, don't use this line. There are all sorts of relationships. Friendships are a relationship. Enemies are a relationship dynamic. Don't say this. Gonna choose it for thoroughness.
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Good. Hell yeah, princess. Okay, we've talked enough.
Oh? Have you decided what to do with me?
I'm gonna try and listen to the voice of the hero every time that we have an option going. So yeah. Here we go with Demise going the exclusive friendship playthrough. Listen, sometimes you just need a friend. I don't know what it would take to get me to say that, Battle Benoy, but I'm sure it's not going to say it right.
You know why you're here.
Does the hero not have anything to say right now? I'm getting you out of here.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
And then when we return if we return in the monster way, she's like an animal, like crawling around, right?
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Oh, we didn't have this option before. And if there isn't a key, do you have any ideas besides me cutting you out of here?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free.
Aww.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Because the narrator is a dick.
Is someone else here?
I think if we shout, "Hey, let me out of here," the princess hears it and starts to act. But why not?
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
But thou must, etc., etc.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
Why are her eyes so big? To express her innocence. She's so innocent, Presna.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Okay, so the last time we tried to save her, the narrator took control of us and tried to kill her with our hand anyways, but we were able to fight him off. I don't know that we want to slay her now. Unless the next voice that we're going to get is the voice of the betrayer or something. So, if you don't have a tourniquet, she'll probably bleed out anyways. ACS Mars, I've got great news for you. We do not need to worry about her bleeding out. We don't need to worry about anything bad happening to her. Oh man, I wish I was simulcasting back when we originally played Slay the Princess. If you could have seen our first playthrough and how we were going through things, it was wild, Mars. I don't know why I called you Mars. It was wild, ACS. Mars. Anyways, let's try saving her again. Let's try the romance route a second time.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it, Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
There are some iterations where she does.
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
And so this was the one of the routes where everything dynamically changes, right? First of all, we get more confirmation about the dragon hand, the scales, the claws. There is, however, some like feather motif going on, right? And so we're not 100% sure what's going on with that. And also it's the first instance of the narrator taking control, like agency away from us as the player, right?
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
Slay the princess, accept. Uh-oh, what's this down here? Warn the princess. I think I'll slay the princess again. Which, okay, hold on. Warning her last time got us down the, like, romance route. Killing her last time got us down, like, a vengeance route. Should we try something different? Or... Because y'all know my gut instinct would be to warn her. Like, hey, I'm not in control of my body.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Because she's not the same princess as she was last time. So...
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist. Killer, murder eyes. Okay. I have already said I'm not the world's biggest fan of this princess's personality, but if not being a fan of someone's personality was an excuse to murder people, I feel like there'd be a lot less humans on the earth. Resist.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
I'm very curious if we're going to get the voice of the romantic again or not, though.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
This is why forcing you into a genocide playthrough of Undertale would be interesting. I would hate that so much. Like, my guiding moral framework is deontology, right? And Kant's categorical imperative is a pretty good shorthand for it. I'm not a big fan of murder first, ask questions later, as so many of you guys are aware.
Maybe I'll see another life.
Girly pop, you have no idea. So much fun watching me play Dirge someday. Well, you know I would try and resist it. There's no way I would, like, give in to the dark urge.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck.
I'm still not the world's biggest fan of this princess's personality, though.
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
This one was a real nihilistic playthrough, narrator. You'll get it.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
What? But they called it Act 2 Prisoner. How are we alive? What's happening?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
This game is so smart. Oh, you bastard, you're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying.
Interesting. Okay, it's not the romantic, it's the skeptic. Sure.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
The other thing that's so smart about the writing is, you're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Not that the princess ends the world, which I think is so smart. Oh, hell yeah, Cass. Have you tried the Owlcat Games Rogue Trader yet? Let's assume I'm telling the truth and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
We did kill the princess once and then not die, it's true.
The absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess.
On Thursday, Cass, we got 2 copies of the game codes that we're going to be able to do a giveaway for. So if you're interested, it's actually a lot of fun. It's a little rough around the edges farther into the game, but it's a CRPG set in Warhammer 40k, and it's pretty nice. But anyway, sorry, yeah, focusing back up.
You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
What a dipshit.
Sure you are.
Hell yeah, skeptic.
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
Which, like, the narrator here is doing a really brilliant interstitial step. Okay, sorry. I promise we'll just focus on the game at some point. But the narrator here is doing this really brilliant interstitial step between the voice of the writer, the voice of the princess, we'll get there when we get there, and the voice of the game, right? Because something that we like talking about is that all art is made with intent. Now, is that intent necessarily conveyed to all of its viewers the exact same way? No. But any video game that has been made out there, its creators have had thoughts and dreams and desires and their own guiding philosophies or moral frameworks. And so every piece of media, every piece of work that has been put out there will have some sort of underlying prejudices and spins that go towards it. And what is so good about the narrator in this spot, in this time, is the act of the narrator, like Sabata was saying, you did something mean to me, therefore you deserve death, is sort of a part of the narrator, sort of conveying to you what their ideology is, but also, right, conveying to you something more, that this is not a world in which it is attempting to portray some sort of fair scenario, right? In the first iteration of it, every time, it's always about how the princess is going to end the world and you have to stop her to stop the problem, right? And so it's set up in this sort of thing where, you know, maybe you gotta, but in Act 2, in the second iteration around, right, it's telling you don't have a choice. It is taking away from you the sort of moral quandary absentia of your decision mattering, right? And someone else will do it even better later on, but that's besides the point. I love this game.
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me.
Buddy.
Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul.
Fuck me, I love Voice of the Skeptic. Where have you been all my life, bestie? Listen, if I can't employ the Socratic method of just, like, perpetually asking you questions and you providing me additional information, you might as well be living in a solipsistic vigil.
Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles.
Fuck yeah, the skeptic.
No, I'm talking in facts.
The narrator is not untrue, asterisk, but that's besides the point. Let's talk about this princess. There's no point in it other than to hear the skeptic.
Just be quick about it.
The only reason she was able to kill me last time was because I let her, and all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end the world?
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right?
I love skeptic voice.
What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything.
Hero voice is also oftentimes good, but hero voice does have failings.
Fine. Check your pockets.
Oh! This is new. Check your pockets.
You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front.
This narrator sucks. Does he have a degree in creative writing? Because that should be fucking revoked. Sabata, so when you go through the murder playthrough, where you just go through, kill the princess and do everything that it's supposed to be, you just sit in the cabin forever. And it is so good, design-wise, conceptually. Again, this is very serious content material, so, brace yourselves. But because you just sort of perpetually exist in this world of monochromism and with literally nothing, no objective. You've slayed the princess, there's nothing else for you to do. You choose to unalive yourself at the end of that particular ending, and that's that ending. And it's such a tight experience. Like, it made me lose my mind. Every ending of this game so far has been immaculate. But yeah, sorry, right, the evidence.
Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth.
Wow, that's convincing.
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting?
Fucking love the skeptic so much.
I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side.
I don't trust that you are on my side or that these rules are in place for a reason. Because the thing is that storytelling so often feels like it has to follow a very specific set of rules, right? People talk about Joseph Campbell's and the hero's journey, or like people talk about like the rules of writing. And that's what the narrator is, right? The narrator is this like boring story of rising action, climax, falling action. That's all he is. He is a like ambling shadow of like the existent framework, and everything else that this does is so good. Anyways, it's besides the point. Yeah, how do we know he didn't just force you to write that? He forced you to stop. It's an excellent point, Sapna. But also, when we get to the end...
You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to?
Oh, skeptic. Oh, skeptic.
Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm. Who locked her in that basement? What is this place?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me? You're being cagey. What aren't you telling me? Oh, okay. Hold on. Really fast. It looks like we're about to go on an ad break, so you know the drill. We're going to run 3 minutes of ads, because this is as decent a place to take a quick pause as possible. And you know what? As a special treat for people who are still here, I'll eat this Kinder Bueno on stream because I haven't had dinner yet. So if you're into food ASMR, thanks for being subbed. And if you're not into food ASMR, consider unsubscribing. Yeah, subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. It's true. Any primers in the chat? Eating on stream, who is this man? Yeah, but not everybody can see it. Only the generous subscribers. So this is a little treat just for you guys. This is, exactly, this is your guys' food. This is your Kinder Bueno. Yeah, I don't actually like Kinder Eggs. They're not my thing. But this Kinder Bueno. It's broken in the middle, hold on. It's just, oh no, hold on. Kinder no bueno. Fair. Cass, fair enough. Before the crowbar was invented, crows would drink it home. Yeah? There is no toy inside of the Kinder Bueno. But have you seen the new toys that Kinder Eggs have? They're like, you know, pretty bad quality toy, because all Kinder Eggs have a pretty bad quality toy. But then there's a QR code to download a mobile phone app to a game. Like, hello? Oh no, you saw it all on YouTube! Memo! Thanks for watching on YouTube. Yeah, we are simulcasting this. You know, honestly, YouTube might even get better content than the Twitch channel does, because they get to see me truly behave like a buffoon sometimes. Twitch has a terrible TV app, so YouTube it is. What is it that Twitch told me to say? I am going to ensure that the Twitch user experience is just as good as, if not better, than YouTube. What is it that YouTube told me to say? I also ensure that YouTube has as good as, if not better, an experience than anywhere else I simulcast. Because, you know, we love corporations. Corporations are people. Citizens United declared it so. Both of these statements are true and being upheld. There is a use case scenario where they can both be true, right? It's a real logical puzzle fun time. All right. And then I shoved an entire Kinder Egg down my throat, and oh wait, no, we're back. We're live. The relevance to the game is so good. Isn't it though? Isn't it though? Anyways, all right, so we're back. If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why isn't this falling on me?
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are.
I have rating turned off at the moment. It's good to see you, Seraph, and I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't. I had it turned off for Demised After Dark, but it should be good now. Nope, it's not good now. Thanks for letting me know, Seraph. I appreciate it. Ah, good. Oh, switched back to game feed. Yep. Sorry. And you totally don't want to, like, send a raid my way at all or anything? I appreciate it, Seraph. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're playing some Slay the Princess again. Because I was kind of in a funk, and this game does genuinely excite the parts of my brain that I didn't even realize needed to be excited. I was in a bit of a funk before I pressed go live. Chat choosing Slay the Princess is doing something for me. This game is so good. So yeah. Call it prophecy. It's just the way things are.
Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Yes, right. We're here because we're special.
Fuck me, the voice of the skeptic is my favorite so far. Most of the voices have an irredeeming moment later on where they're pushed to an illogical extreme. But skeptic so far has been doing great by us. Sarah, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everybody.
Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
Totally not foreseen raid. Wow. I saw that you guys were playing Destiny. How was it? How did you enjoy it? So, yep, sorry. Narrator telling us we have to kill the world. You get it.
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to trust me here.
That's all.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. Oh
no. Do we take the skeptic with us to the hell dimension?
A warning before you go any further.
Man, I hate it when the narrator / the princess stops you from going to the hell dimension. Yeah. Now he's
She will
warning us,
lie,
yeah.
she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
And this is the first time he says it that way.
Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
The skeptic is a 10 out of 10. I fucking love the skeptic.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
Except, this is not the way that this room was previously. Oh, Seraph, it's so good. It's very cerebral. It's obviously there are no PvP elements, although I'm glad you had a good time with it today. But it is whatever I say cannot accurately sum up the raw joy and ecstasy you will get from experiencing it. Like if you have even the slightest interest in this game, trust me, you know I love having you around. You know I love having all y'all around. The first time the game breaks you, it breaks you in a way that no other video game to this date has broken me. It's so good, Seraph. Like, oh man, I love Slay the Princess. It's so good. It's so good. No PvP. Player versus princess. I see what you've done there, let me, It does not allow us to romance the Pope. Well, that's because there is no Pope. You might be mute lurking. We'll catch you around, Seraph. Thanks for popping by. It's really good. Seraph, I do not say this very often. You have to play this game. Everyone needs to, at least at some point in time, experience it for themselves. It's so good. Okay, anyways. The narrator just said about how the room is different, which, it is.
The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
He definitely did not. Does the mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. I think you know what we have to do.
Hell yeah, skeptic. Why would you lie about that? What's the point? I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. I think handsome might change us to romance. Maybe? And I'm kind of game to see what happens. Because this game has defied my expectations at every other interval, so sure. Handsome.
Let's not get caught up in vanity, but we should definitely take a closer look. Whatever it is, he must not want us to know about it.
Skeptic is so good. I love him.
Is this some sort of rehearsed bit? Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Wipe the mirror clean. Is this a bit? Is such a funny line for the narrator.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
It's our hand, Lemmy. This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
Yeah, the narrator hears the other voices and also doesn't question it much, if at all, because somebody pointed this out to us last time that we play it through, right? It's interesting that we always start with the narrator and the voice of the hero. The voice of the skeptic joins in, but...
So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
We're not taking the blade this time. I agree, Sabata.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
Remember how I said all of the voices, remember how I said all of the voices have a moment where you absolutely hate them? This is our we hate the voice of the skeptic moment. They just all do it. They just at every single point in time, and I think it's to highlight the unreliable narrator aspect. But at every single point in time, if you absolutely hate them, like I hated the voice of the romantic, they redeem themselves. Or if you absolutely love them, they do something to make you hate them. And I think it's to show that they are flawed characters. But yeah, like it I agree, right? The whole like, oh, we're in a dangerous situation, I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon, is like, okay, cool, except last time that didn't really help us that much, did it? So, yeah. Weirdest Everyone is John and Dungeons and Dragons crossover. I would play the shit out of a Slay the Princess TTRPG. We might try to make something like that at some point in time. Because, oh man, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, we gotta move on.
Are you sure? She killed us with it last time. What if she turns it against us again? Yes, I'm sure. And I've already got a plan for that.
Okay.
Still with those past life delusions, are we? I hope part of that plan is don't give the world-ending monstrosity your only weapon. Because unless you've decided to arm the princess, I don't think you need to worry about her having a weapon. Peachy, we'll be fine. Okay, I'm trusting you.
I am skeptic about the voice of the skeptic now. Hey, don't I get a say here? What's the big idea?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
You rat bastard.
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the knife from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Interesting.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
A lot more chains.
She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
Right? Because last time, there was only one chain that like locked her to the wall, and so now the narrator is making it harder to cut her loose. Exactly.
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an excellent point, Skeptic.
That was there last time too, wasn't it?
The one that was there last time, though, I was thinking about it as it was there because she had freed her other arm already. This is new.
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just gonna leave her here. Leave the princess in the basement, sit with her, slay the princess. I have to act, especially because of how it went last time, I have to act like everything will happen the way it is intended. But like the narrator, this is the thing, is like, unlike in Baldur's Gate or in other games where the narrator is trying to portray itself as sort of a impartial, opinionated party, right? The narrator in here is an active factor. So the question is, if I say, leave the princess in the basement, the narrator won't let us, right? And we'll get back to the locked door situation. I'm gonna try it. Well, I'm just gonna try it because I like stress testing the situation.
The door locked behind us the last time we tried that.
All right,
remember?
Skeptic, I do remember that, yes, but I want to see if it iterates.
As if by divine will, just as you finish the thought, you hear a door slam. I'm afraid you won't be leaving until the task is finished. It doesn't matter how many chains she's in, without your intervention, she'll find a way out eventually. That's not fair. Unless you deal with her right here, right now, she will remain an existential threat to the entire world. What seems unfair to you is fair for everyone else. Huh. So it's not even safe to think. I see how it is.
Okay, Skeptic. You were my favorite. You're starting... I don't know how I feel about that particular line.
How surprising. They locked you down here too.
Sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Sit where you're told to sit. I hate this, and also am not stoked about being told what to do, but her personality this time, lot better, and also, you know, she's not being a dick about it, and she is royalty, so, you know. Nah. This is not a stress test that I want to engage with. Sit where you were told to sit. Because, like, if we sit closer to her, right? Oh, it stresses me out. Like, I mean, the problem is that we're already set in a very, like, it almost to me feels like the princess is less of a character in this one. But, okay, counterpoint, I suppose if we sit closer, that's not listening to what she's telling us to do, which is perhaps in and of itself an additional contributive factor into the end development. Again, if you guys don't know anything about me, if you guys don't know anything about me and have no takeaways, the takeaway here is that I don't like being told what to do. So you know what, Sabata? You talked me into it. We'll sit closer. No one does, it's true. Ah! But she's a princess. There's like explicit statements about station. There's like, oh god. Sabata told me what to do. That's the other thing. Therefore, you have to listen to someone. Like, the thing is that it is reasonable for her to be like, hey, you got a knife. Please don't get any closer, right? Put it to a vote, clearly. Put a vote in for every choice. We're not doing that. That would slow down the game entirely. Fuck it. Fine, sure. Sit closer. Because the skeptic has a plan to deal with the narrator, right?
Do you think this is a game? Do you think these chains take away my say in things?
Uh-oh.
As you move towards the princess, she stands, her chains clinking as she wraps them around her fists.
Uh-oh.
In an instant, they're around your neck, both of you dropping to the ground as she pulls them taut, bracing her body against yours as you struggle uselessly. The metal chains constrict around your windpipe as the princess heaves with a muscled intensity.
Boundaries are important? I don't think so. I think if a man comes at you with a knife, you should let them do whatever they want. Sorry. I think if a person comes at you with a knife, you should let them do whatever they want.
Drop the knife or you die.
What is she doing? We weren't trying to attack her. I can see where she might have gotten the wrong idea. She doesn't have much agency here. Would we have trusted her if the roles were reversed? I don't know. How about we think about the nuances of interpersonal relationships when we're not being strangled? How many times did I warn you she's not to be trusted? But while strangulation can be very distracting, she's not armed, and you have your pristine blade. End her before she ends you.
Just drop the knife. We didn't even want the knife. It's really starting to feel like Savada plays here, huh? You're not wrong, but...
As your weapon falls pathetically to the floor, the princess releases you from her stranglehold, shoving you away with a swift kick. Your hands test the bruised flesh of your neck as you regain your senses, watching with a dazed expression as the princess snatches up the blade.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Oofa doofa.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly, as she raises the blade to her throat.
You can stay right where you are for this next part.
What is she doing?
I feel the urge to bring up content warnings again. So make sure you're in a good place. If you're watching, have we mentioned that they have a list of content warnings at their website, Black Tabby? And also, you know, we always recommend doesthedogdie.com. Let's rock and roll.
She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck. No.
Watch in uneasy silence or look away.
Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, as she saws through skin, veins, cartilage. At last she reaches bone, the blade grinding audibly against her vertebra as it continues to slice its way through her neck.
Also, Sabata, thanks for the scene where we get beat up by the princess. You're a real OG. I didn't know you were a masochist.
I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. Why would she do that? Huh. So that's her play.
No way someone could remove their own neck. But she's not someone. She's the princess. You think being a masochist beats being a sadist? Learning a lot about you, my friend.
Killing herself? She isn't dead yet. Finally, you hear a snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence. She remains motionless for a long moment, her twitching eye the only movement in the room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half-wink. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder, and her neck opens.
Fuck me, this sucks.
The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally it falls to the floor, completely free. It bounces a few times before rolling to a stop at your feet.
How did we get the romance option during Halloween, and we got this option on July 2nd of 2024?
Oh no, oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back.
I mean, on the contraposta, right? She's going out on her terms.
The princess's eyes stare up at you. Dead.
Oh, did I say July?
Congratulations.
You know what I meant.
You saved the world. Are you sure she's not winking at us? Obviously not. She is thoroughly deceased. I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please?
Kind of with the hero on this one.
Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward. We should take her with us, don't you think? What? No, you shouldn't do that. Why would you do that? I can think of lots of reasons. A trophy, proof of our victory. Hell, we could even give her a proper burial. She did save the world, right? You don't need proof, you don't need a trophy, and she doesn't deserve a burial. Just leave. Even after all that, you're still not satisfied, are you? Something is still motivating you to keep things the way you want them.
Interesting, skeptic.
I'm just eager to put this all behind us and give you your reward. Stop reading into things. The danger has passed. You can relax.
Skeptic calling the narrator a railroading
I'm
GM.
just keeping myself sharp. I'm not so eager to put my guard down.
I do like the skeptic, though.
I am. I'm on team, let's put this all behind us, so can we leave already?
Take the princess with you. We can't. We can't. We can't. Ah! We have to, because here's the thing, right? There's first of all, in the real world, no, I wouldn't touch a person's severed head. I wouldn't desecrate a body, etc., etc., etc. There's so many reasons why I wouldn't. But if she is alive, she's not. If she was alive, this is getting her out and her freedom, right? If she's dead, she's ostensibly doing it to escape being imprisoned, right? And she escaped. Sure, fine. Hell yeah, skeptic. Let's go.
Ugh, fine. You pick up the princess's severed head, its neck stump still oozing bodily fluids, then make your way back upstairs to the first floor of the cabin.
Sure.
Did you see that? I could have sworn she moved. She didn't. She's dead. But what if she's not? Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal? The door to your bountiful reward is right in front of you. All you have to do is open it.
Leave the cabin and claim your reward.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is... Wait, no, that's not right.
Also, we know there is no other world. The world consists of the path to the cabin, and the basement. So we are aware that there is no other iterating on life.
Well played.
Hell yeah.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain myself before I had to watch it happen, but it's already over? Is he gone? But we're still here. Maybe it wasn't the end of the world after all. Maybe it was just the end of his.
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I was right to trust you. So, this is the outside. Maybe it's just my lack of body, but it's colder than I expected.
Hell yeah. And this is where the game takes your socks and fucking literally explodes them off your feet. But you do not get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
This, like, hair in the background. Oh.
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before, and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
It's not the end. Whatever's on the other side is going to be nice. It's the end for you, but not for me. I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay. I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay. We don't want to lie to them, right? It is the end for them, ostensibly.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like the narrator, right?
No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
Sorry, mates. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've withered. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Wait. Do we not get to see her? Proceed to the cabin? Here we go. Okay. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again.
We love the princess.
All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
There are some new options now. You can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist. How can you stand to be a contradiction? These things just again explore sort of the writer's perspective. We do get a little pretentious here, but let's just go with it. I'm only gonna do one run today, and we're gonna call it after this. But yeah, you can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist. I regularly refer to humanity, right? Like, we're all walking contradictions.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
How can you stand to be a contradiction?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
It doesn't matter how many times I go back. At least one of us always hurts the other. Doesn't that change you? Doesn't that make you worse?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
Oh, fuck, these options are all so good. If anything, it makes me like you more. I don't know what that says about me. No, not really. It all seems so distant as soon as I'm near you. I have no opinion one way or another on the matter. I just want it all to stop. Yes, you're torturing me and I hate it. I think I hate you. Remain silent. This is so existentially a lot. Because it is a matter of perspective, right? The option, no, not really, it all seems so distant as soon as I'm near you, is not untrue, right? The narrator literally seems to go away. The voices seem to go away. I don't know that I like the princess. If that makes sense. What is the funniest option to you? There is something to it, right? If anything, it makes me like you more. I don't know what that says about me. I don't think that I could love an ephemeral being that, because like, okay, so here's the thing, right? Like, in part, and this could be just complete projection, change is painful. Life hurts. Right? When you go through life, you have to suffer failure. You have to suffer change. Permanence is not real. There is nothing that is in a state of permanence, right? Everything is constantly in flux. The idea, you know when people are like, oh, they're just going through a phase, don't worry, they'll grow out of it. I mean, not technically untrue, but also, right? It's not that they grow out of it in such a way that that phase becomes a discrete part of them, right? All people are building blocks of everything we've ever experienced, everything we've ever gone through. And so for you to say, like, for me to get too much on my own bully pulpit here, but, to say that you hate everyone who has ever hurt you is to willfully ignore all of the times that maybe you were disappointed by friends, or times where you had sky-high expectations that fell flat, right? Expectations are tempered by failure. Cynicism and anger is tempered by surprise and exceeding expectations. People are a range of responses depending on a given scenario. So I don't think it makes me like her or hate her more. I don't want it to stop. I'm loving the journey. I don't know that I'm capable of hating her. I think it all seems so distant as soon as we're near her.
It does seem small from here, and the more we journey, the smaller each of those steps will be. But that doesn't make any of them less special.
This is a really good thing, right? Like, when you're a little kid, a year seems like a long time, and that's because it is, right? As you get older, you've accumulated more time under your belt, and so saying a year progressively means less and less time to you because you've been here for more years. is, right? Where the more we journey, the smaller each of these steps will be, but that doesn't make any of them less special. Oh! What do you think of this vessel?
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
We're not planning to kill her. Do you know what happens to the worlds we leave behind?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
Have you figured out what you'll want when we've finished?
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
You're not wrong. It is a lot. Do you still not care what I bring you next?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you.
Ugh. So are we hooking up with God? Is that what's going on? No, Cass. Well, I mean, like, hooking up is a very human connotative statement, right? Like, and also to presume the princess is God is once again like a normative, nominative thing, right? What's brilliant? Okay, sorry. As I take off my jacket, what's brilliant about Slay the Princess is fair. There are exactly 2 existent characters. There is you, your name, the player, and there is the princess. The narrator is not embodied. The voices are not embodied. There is no one else around except for the 2 of you. Idea of hooking up, of whatever, right, are things that, sure, maybe we can take into the equation, but it's to me a lot more pure than that. It's 2 entities, 2 beings, 2 people, if you want to use that sort of nomenclature, freed from everything else, right? We don't need to worry. Hey, this is gonna blow your mind, chat. We don't need to worry about this princess being after us for money, or that we're being an extra burden on them in terms of our survival and providing our needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? This princess and us have no transactional experience like that. There is a statement that could be made about her asking us for gifts in the form of iterative princesses, but it's agnostic of all of that. None of that is relevant to this moment, and that's a part of what is so enchanting to me is this situation can never exist in the real world. There is no moment in the real world in which there are not thousands upon millions of additional considerations between you and any other person. When you meet another person, you've got first impressions, you've got takeaways, you've got your biases, and they've got the same. They're going to have a first impression about you. They're going to have their biases. They're going to have their takeaways. They're going to have interpretations of actions that you don't even know that you're doing. It's, oh my god, what is it? Not Ship of Theseus. Zeno's paradox. Right? So Zeno is an ancient Greek philosopher, and he has a theory. He says that between point A and point B, there's always a midway point of AB. right? And so theoretically, if that's the case, then between point A and point AB, there's another midway point, AABB. Theoretically, there are infinite numbers of midway points, and so therefore, it is impossible for two things to ever actually touch. We know that's not true. We experience that's not true. But there is something about that is, I think, with regards to the human psyche and with regards to philosophy, brilliant. Because it does not matter how close you get into understanding with another person. The fact of the matter is that you and the other person can never be exactly the same. You can never be a superposition upon the other person. There are always things that you're learning. There's always interpretation. We are using our faulty human mouths to use our faulty human languages to try and communicate. And so there will always be points of friction, points of failure, points where we've got a very good understanding of what the other person is trying to communicate, but we're not 100% there yet. And all of that is wrapped up in Slay the Princess. Slay the Princess is a game that was made for me, it feels like. Obviously it's not, but what is it when you say you feel seen? There's another term for it. I feel seen by this game. The closest approxima to the feeling I have right now with Slay the Princess with other things is is it Scott Lee O'Malley? The one who made Scott Pilgrim and the Scott Pilgrim comics. He released another comic book series it's another comic book called Lost at Sea. And I thought Scott Pilgrim was great. I love Scott Pilgrim. But Lost at Sea spoke to me in a way that absolutely sort of blew me away. And I feel that exact same way about Slay the Princess. Anyways, sorry. This is all a deviation. We'll get back to the game, I promise. So you don't have any preferences on how you'd like to change or grow?
The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me.
How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
We will know when we near our destination.
I'm ready to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
So, unfortunately, friends, today's stream is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, which I do actually a little bit regret, because Slay the Princess is so good. It's so good. This was the right choice. Y'all, this was the right choice. And we gotta remember Slay the Princess is here in the future, because I thought about it lightly, but I was like, I don't know how good it's going to be. This game fucks me up in such a good way. God, I love Slay the Princess. This is reminding you of the Stanley Parable. I disabled the good job command, Sapida. Or at least I think I have. Try removing the space between good and job and see if that works. But yeah, I think. Never mind. If anybody wants to gift Nightbot a sub, then that'll look correct. But I think the best parts of Stanley Parable are an approxima of Slay the Princess, and it's the same thing for Beginner's Guide. I like Slay the Princess to me is a little bit more perfect. The Stanley Parable was very dry and very witty and very charming, and it was a commentary about games industry. But to me, I think games industry, y'all know me, video games are art, and to me, I feel like Slay the Princess is even more intimate. I feel like Slay the Princess is about like the nature of storytelling and the nature of humanity. I feel like there's so much philosophy, there's just so much work, and I love it. I love it so much. Man, I love it so much I do want to do another route right now, but we can't. We simply cannot. I have other things that I have to do. So, again, thank you guys all so much for being here. I'm glad that this iteration of Slay the Princess is going to be on the YouTube stream. I gotta check. There's no way we still have the VODs from October. It will be here next time. God, Slay the Princess. Oh. Anyway, sorry. What was the other thing that I was thinking about? Oh yeah, this Thursday we're going to be giving away codes for Warhammer 40k's Rogue Trader and for Generation Zero, which we got from Daredrop. Tomorrow there's probably not going to be a stream, but we'll see. And then Friday, I don't know what we're going to be doing yet. We'll be playing it a little bit more by ear. Next week, Waylon Yutani Wednesday, we're going to be doing Alien Isolation on Wednesday. Probably some more variety on Tuesday again. Thursday will be Monster Hunter World, and then Friday, you get the drill. Oh, this Friday is a Demised After Dark. And I think that's everything. Okay. Also, let me check really quickly. There's no way we still have VODs from back in October, right? Also, I'm super sorry. I actually need to use the loo. I will be right back. Oops. You know, as you do right before you end the stream. All right, who's still here? Something I should consider is that you just want to, if you guys wanted to play the games, you could do it yourselves, and you want to watch our responses. Well, thank you, Pixie. the journey on content creation is, you know, a whole thing. So I appreciate it when you guys are so incredibly generous and so incredibly kind. Yeah, the Christmas or the Halloween stream is no longer up, regrettably. But yeah. So when are we starting a design doc for Everyone is Dungeons and Dragons? It could only be a page long, but that's besides the point. Okay, fair enough. I mean, like, especially because we really got to kick sort of streaming into overdrive in this coming year. There are a lot of design philosophy questions over the stream that I've been pretty happy about up until this point that we need to question. A non-zero amount of it being monetization smile. But yeah. Unironically, thank you guys for being here today. It was very nice to not only be able to play Slay the Princess. It was nice to see a lot of you guys again. Okay, sorry. The Halloween stream is not here anymore, so there's no point in looking. I gotta send you guys out. Okay, so we were just talking about Undertale earlier. It looks like Beautiful Crow right now is playing Undertale, so I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys over that way. Be sure to drop them a follow if you feel so inclined. They're a delightful individual, and we do like hanging out with them, so I'm not gonna stay too long for that exact reason of spoilers, but enjoy. It's gonna be that kind of vibe. Catch you guys later. Bye.